How's it going? Sorry. Hey, how's it going? It's Aaron from R3D3Y3 Gaming here, and I'm here to talk about PCs, and what do you need in a PC? How much money do you need to spend? Do you need 128 gigs of RAM, or do you need 8 gigabytes or 16 maybe? Here to talk about some of those things, and to pull my own PC apart and to show you what's what. Tell you how much I spent, how much it cost, the way I went about it, and the way maybe you should go about it. Maybe save you some money. Now, computer parts, they vary in price from region to region. Now, in Canada, where I am, I'm paying more than you're likely in the States if you're watching this. Your prices are lower than mine. So, take that into effect when I'm talking about the GTX 750 Ti 2GB model costing me $240 to get to my door, because I know you guys get it for like 170 bucks. I see those prices. Believe me. Let's pull my PC apart, and let's see what's what. So, I have half of it's a white box PC, the other half is custom, and it's all mine, baby. Okay, so I'm just going to put the camera down and I'm going to pull the side off, and then we'll continue from there. Now, just for the sake of video production and for the sake of honesty, I've loosened off everything on the back here, so the monitor cable ready to come out. That's loosened off. Sorry guys, one hand, it's difficult. And remove the power. Now you also want to flip the power switch off typically. And I've also taken the Phillips screws out the top and the bottom. Get a little stubby Phillips guy like this. It's perfect. Get the long one even. Now, you want a decent flashlight. This one's overkill. I used to work as a mechanic. So, yeah. I mean, way brighter than I need. I'm actually going to turn it down for the sake of this video. Turn it up. There we go, low setting. Perfect. So let's pop the side. Now, the side of my PC only comes out so far because I have a fan installed, and that fan blows cold air in. So here is my modular power supply. Let's get a light in here. CX750M. It's a value power supply according to people online. I get a lot of hate for it. When I was going through my blue screen troubles, people were saying, oh, it's your power supply. Well, guess what? It works great. It does the job. There's my 2GB Asus 750 Ti. GTX 750 Ti, my mistake. It does have some dust on it, excuse me for that. It's also got the 6-pin PCIe power supply right there, or power cable. That is necessary, it won't boot without it. Yeah, you can see most of my cables fairly clean. I got the aftermarket Zalman cooler. Yeah, it's not the prettiest thing, but it does a really sweet job for the size of it. And I wanted to install some cooling fans above it, but as you can see, I could fit it right above the CPU cooler, maybe if I shaved it. But the RAM, I don't have the clearance. That's not even the RAM I had in there before. That's my Corsair Vengeance. 16 gigabytes, so they're 2 8-gig sticks, and they do a hell of a job. Everything's hooked up via SATA, even though it doesn't really matter. I mean, hard disk drives do not get SATA cable speeds. They're not physically capable of it. So yeah, you can transfer it 3 gigabytes a second or 6 gigabytes a second. You're still only reading at whatever the hell the hard drive can do. Now, my secondary drive, my Seagate Barracuda up here, this is my D drive, or whatever the hell secondary hard disk drive. It's 3 terabytes, 256 meg cache. I recommend it. A lot of people hate on the Seagates. Yeah, they're cheaper, but it does a great job, and it reads way quicker than this Toshiba down here. Now that's my OEM drive, and that's 1 terabyte, and that's my main OS drive. I'll run things on it sometimes. I do a lot of my YouTube videos on the D drive because it actually reads so much faster. The processing time is really cut down, and I'm installing an SSD soon. I'm also switching out, I have an AMD 4300FX processor, 3.8 gigahertz. It's sitting underneath that Zalman cooler, of course. Everything's pretty clean in there because I blow this out with not compressed air, but I use my shop vac. Yeah, I'm going to make a video on that. I know it's hillbilly. You guys are going to pick that up and hate on it. Whatever, it works. I mean, static electricity being built up, yeah, you're moving it through an electric motor. I'm educated, I'm not stupid. I'm just lazy sometimes. I don't recommend people do what I do all the time. But anyways, this is my setup, and it works really well. It stays nice and cold, and you know, there's some things to know, like cable management's a little tricky. Like, I got lucky with the modular cable because, as you can see, I managed to run all three of my drives, my CD-ROM drive and my 2 hard drives, off one power cable, and that's why they're kind of spaced out funny, as you see there. Yeah, and like managing the SATA cables was a bit of a pain. I got the 3 of them all cinched up together where they come out, or come out to the motherboard more rather, but it's really difficult because SATA cables don't want to bend. And I know a lot of people twist them into loops, but I just think, I don't like the look of that. And yeah, I know my cables are just laying out all over. But like I said, when I bought this PC about 4 or 5 months ago, it didn't have the CPU cooler, it didn't have that graphics card, it had a 1GB GT720 in there, it didn't have the D drive, it didn't have that power supply, it didn't have half the fans in it, it didn't have that RAM either. So I've changed pretty much everything in this computer, and my next round of upgrades is actually the motherboard and the CPU and the graphics card again. I know I bought a new graphics card about 3 months ago, but you see, I ran into problems because the 750 Ti on NVIDIA's website, it says it only needs 350 watt power supply, which I believe that, I really, really do. But the 1GB model does not have this PCI power connector. Obviously, this thing requires more than the 12 volts that's carried from that motherboard pin that you see right there.